Welcome to this second session in our Grammar Bootcamp. Today we're going to look and dive deeper into verbs. So let's get started. On the screen, you will see what verbs look like from kindergarten to fifth grade. One of the things that you'll notice is that we continue to use subject-verb agreement. We also continue to look at past, present, and future verb tenses. And then in fourth grade and fifth grade, we're working with progressive tenses, auxiliaries, and perfect tenses. And we'll look at those in just a moment. Also notice that in second grade and third grade, we're working with regular and irregular verb forms. And we'll talk about that as we go through this presentation. First of all, what is a verb? Well, a verb refers to an action or state of being. We can have physical verbs such as run, sing, and walk. Those are actions that we can show and demonstrate. Another type of verb is mental verbs, and these are related to concepts or cognitive states, and these are a little bit trickier because it's not an action that we can show, but it's a thinking or mental process. For example, discovery, believe. We could even put understanding on this list as well. And those are just a few mental verbs to get you thinking about how verbs aren't always a direct action. It's important to note that subject and verbs must always agree in a sentence. We have a singular subject that would use a singular verb. If you look at the screen, it says he walks to the store. Notice that that singular subject has the S at the end. We wouldn't say he walked to the store. We say he walks to the store. And plural subjects use a plural verb. Now, we would think of a plural verb as having the S, but it's the opposite. So we would say the girls walk to the store. So the singular verb has the S and the plural verb does not. So keep that in mind because it's a little counterintuitive to what you might be thinking. So we're going to delve into verb tenses next. And when we say verb tenses, this is simply saying what tense is the verb taking. Verbs can occur in the past, the present, or future. And that's what we're going to look at next is those different types of tenses, how they're formed, and how we can use linking verbs to help us to create those tenses. So the first verb tense that we have is past. And that just simply means that whatever the verb is in the sentence has already happened. John walked to the store. Now, this is a regular verb because we would say walk, walking, walks, walked. Notice that this stays the same. But when we look down here at an irregular verb, we say she ran after the puppy. We wouldn't say she runned after the puppy. And so this is an irregular verb because we have run, ran, ranning, for example. We could also have verbs that take place in the present. That means the verb is happening now. Sheila walks quickly. She ran after the puppy. Henry is running to catch the bus. I should probably take that second sentence out because that is not a present tense. Notice we have walks with an S and Henry is running. So is the linking verb that's helping to show that he is doing this now. He is running at this very moment. The other kind of present verb tense that we can have is progressive verb tense. And progressive verb tenses, again, are happening now, and it's simply the verbs plus ing, walking, running, talking, singing, for example. So progressive verb tenses have ing. Oftentimes, when we're looking at verb tenses, we have to think about linking verbs. And really, these examples are all to be verbs. Is, am, was, were, will be, and has been. We use those to link another verb and a subject. For example, I will be happy when I get my new book. we're connecting I and happy with will be. Was. I was talking on the phone. Was goes with talking. So linking verbs connect with another verb in order to complete the verb. Now, we can also have verbs that occur in the future. And when we look at simple verb tenses, this is will plus the base form. I will walk to the store. Walk is our simple base, and we've added it with will. We can also have to go, to be going to. So notice that we have am, is, and are going to with the base word. I am going to walk to the store. I am going to talk to my friend. Notice how those are connected. We might say, in addition, are. We are going to take our lunch to work. So shall plus the subject and verb. You shall, let's see, shall we go out to lunch? Shall we eat at the picnic table? Future progressive, will be plus the verb. I will be going to the store. And we can also have present simple and simple progressive that occur in the future. And again, notice how we always use a linking verb to help connect those together. So present tense verbs often, almost always have a linking verb with them. We also have auxiliary verbs, and an auxiliary verb is a verb that is used with another verb to form tenses, negatives, and questions. We think of these as be, have, and do. So let's click here, and here's an example of all the auxiliary verbs, starting with am all the way down. So notice all of these auxiliary verbs that connect subjects with another part of the verb. So right here, my arrow is on could. I could talk to my friend after school. Should. I should clean the house. Notice how we connect those with another verb. So this is the complete list of auxiliary verbs. So if that is an area that you are responsible for teaching, here's a list that you can teach your students for auxiliary verbs. Now, let's move on to perfect tense verbs. And perfect tense verbs simply show that something has been completed, that an action or the verb is finished. I have finished reading my book. Notice that we have. Sam has gone to the library, has gone. I had done my homework by yesterday, already completed that homework. The baby will have slept by then. Will have connects with slept to show that it already occurred. And by the end of the year, I will have worked here 2 years. So notice that we're showing that that's already occurred. And in our next lesson, here's a little preview. In our next lesson, we will move on to adverbs and how adverbs work with verbs in order to describe the verb. So that is just a quick overview of verbs. If you need more research, more information, let me know, and I will see you next time for lesson 3 in Grammar Bootcamp.